Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23 and it is time for one of my favourite tracks of all time. It is time for the Dutch GP of our MotoGP career mode. It is round 8 and look at that, we're in pole position for the very first time here in our MotoGP career. We are 1 second quicker than Pecco Bagnaia as well, so Assen proving to be the track that works well for me. So here we go then guys and gals, from pole position we'll start the sprint, wait for the lights to disappear, and we will try to launch as the best possible way we can from the best possible position. So, oh no, never mind, we've already dropped down to about 7th, about 8th position. We're going to try and get through. Joan Mir's made contact with us from the rear, and then we're trying to squeeze through on Martin. We do get through, we're back up into the top 2 positions, so we dropped a position going into turn 2, and Joan Mir, he's up into 2nd. What a race from the Repsol Honda man, the former MotoGP World Champion, of course, as Bastianini's giving me a bit of a nudge into the left-hand side. And what the hell was that into Struben? That was a very strange line from the 3 riders ahead of us, but Aleix Espargaro, he's on it. The Aprilia is killing it at the early stage of this race, but around the outside of Enea Bastianini, was desperate to get that lunged into the Weinschlang, and now we go into the Russian hook corner. We are in position for a possible slipstream and then the eventual attack on Aleix Espargaro, although look at the speed he's carrying through these corners. Into De Bolt, one of the toughest corners for me. I never feel confident in turn 9, but not too bad actually this time around. And now into the right for Mandevin for turn 10. Now, this right-hander here, in the past when I've ever done races here at Assen in MotoGP, the riders, was okay. The riders sometimes turn in too early there and they touch the grass, which usually costs them a massive amount of time. It doesn't look like it's going to happen here, but I suspect that could be the case of what happened in the qualifying, hence the reason we were 1 second quicker than the competition. So onto the brakes we go. Oh, a little bit out of shape as Espargaro goes quite deep. We'll get the change of direction alongside Espargaro. We now have the lead. We're back into the first position after starting from pole. We obviously suffered on that previous lap, but now around the outside of Aleix. No, he doesn't want to give it up. He will not yield. He's looking for his first victory this season, of course. Sprint victory has already been won this season by an Aprilia rider. That, of course, was Aleix's teammate, Maverick Vinales, the number 12. But right now, it does look like a Spaniard on the Aprilia is also in the running for a victory here. This time into Assen. But look at that weird line they take into Struben. They don't seem to lose much speed because that gap of 5/10 is still roughly the same as it was a minute ago. But now into the right. Oh, that's massive. I thought I was going to crash there. That's way too tight to the apex of the right-hander there. That's too fast of an entry as well. Could have gone heck to a handbasket if you pardon the expression. But now onto the acceleration again, out to Steckenval and now into De Bolt for turn 9. Espargaro has pulled out a few more tenths of a second. But will he begin to suffer into the final corner again? Or maybe I was lucky that he struggled in a moment ago. But look at that podium as it stands. Espargaro, myself on board the gas, Bastianini in 3rd, and Joan Mir up into 4th, holding up Repsol Honda honours. That's amazing. Truly amazing job from Joan Mir. But now into the left-hand side. Steady on into the Ramshook. I don't want to go in there too fast and run it too deep. But onto the brakes we go into the Geert Timmer chicane. Very tight to the apex. Quick change of direction. We're back on the cusp of getting through again. On the precipice of leading this race here in Assen. And we do get through eventually with a 1:32.168. So we're neck and neck again as Espargaro elbows out from the Spaniard. Shoves us wide into the Harbot corner. And now it's for us to do all again. What a battle so far. I hope you're enjoying this one, guys and gals, because I certainly am. If you are enjoying, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing as well. It does help out the channel. As Espargaro goes for that weird line again. Clearly it works for him, but it doesn't work for me. I think I'm going to stick to my strategy. Speaking of the Aprilia, you got Aleix Espargaro's teammate Maverick in 8th. So not a bad race for him as we go in super fast into the right-hander for the Weinschlang corner. And now 6/10 of a second separates us. You can clearly see where Espargaro is faster than us, and then we are faster into the final chicane. Also the final sector, I think we're just a little bit better nonetheless. But so far in the qualifying, I noticed the first sector, the second sector was pretty much red sectors all the time. Lose a bit in the 3rd, and then in the 4th split seemed to get it nailed. But every single lap I did, it was top spot. Very strange considering how disastrous the last race was. I will reiterate, this is still on 120% difficulty AI. I haven't changed any of the difficulty. I think Assen is just a lucky track for us players against the hardest difficulties. Espargaro looks at has a quick look behind him. But maybe he should be watching where he's going because he's messed it up again into the gear timber chicane. We take over at the front and cross the line. Is it the fastest lap of the race? It's not quite yet. We were just 0.004 of a second slower than the previous exchange. So now into Harbuck. That is the first time we have led across the line and then into turn 1, and we still hold the lead by going into turn 3. Is Espargaro about to make it through on the inside? Yes, he is. I could see that from the gap. I knew he was getting closer, but he's gone tremendously wide there. Hopefully he doesn't make contact with us here as we get back onto the power. Here he comes. Back on through goes Aleix Espargaro. What a fierce fight and competition is being on offer here today. So now into the right-hander again. Espargaro's made a mess of it. Coming around the outside. Not quite. Big contact again with the Piaggio group bike. The Aprilia RSGP launching the attack into the left-hander there. I think he's looking more desperate than we are. I think our lap times and our consistency is relatively the same. Espargaro is going deep now into DeBult. Kind of followed him in there. But he's still holding on. Joan Mir is now on the podium for this sprint. I really hope that Joan Mir stays on that podium. No, never mind. Bastianini's back on through. The number 23 as a Begat. The number 36 as it stands. So back onto the power and into the right-hander for turn 12. Strong on the power. Mustn't upshift too soon there because you do lose a little bit of power. But now into the left-hander. Espargaro is pushing so much into that left-hand side for the ramshut corner. But I think that might be his downfall. He's gone deep again with contact ensued. Oh, Lord Almighty. I did not want him to turn in like that because I was actually on a good lap there and that lost me a lot of momentum. But into turn 1 we still have the lead. Harbuck gives us 4 and maybe 5 tenths. Look at that. We were really strong into the first corner. Let's pull the pin, guys and gals. I've enjoyed the fight with Espargaro, but it's getting dangerous now. If he keeps making that mistake into the GT chicane and then turning in so fast, we could be unfortunately taken out, and I don't fancy that happening. So this is the sprint. We don't need to concern ourselves with fuel or tyre wear, to be honest. So let's just go for it now. Let's just absolutely pull the pin. In the qualifying, I think I did a 131 something. You've probably seen it at the start of the video. But what I can tell you is that we can go faster. I think we can comfortably get into the 131s, but it's not necessary for a full race, although Espargaro's charging 0.2 of a second behind us. Does he go through into DeBult? I'm not very strong in this corner. Oh, bit of contact. He is here though. I'm getting all over the place now. Out of shape goes Espargaro into the 10th corner. And we are now almost 5 seconds adrift from the competition. I don't know why suddenly Espargaro's got this sudden recent form and pace. But now into the right-hander, super close to the apex there. Can we go around the outside and then dump it up on the inside from the hog hider? Not quite. Espargaro goes the long way around. But there's no way he can stop us into the GT chicane. We haven't been this close in quite a while. Onto the brakes we go. He's completely blown it. Espargaro makes a gaffe. He has blown it. And we are now through. And we've got the 132, rhyming accidentally. Oh, Espargaro, he's blown it. He's 3 seconds behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we could be looking at a first ever sprint victory here in the MotoGP career mode against the 120% difficulty AI. Oh, yes, it is finally happening. All that effort, just the pushing, the learning, the desperation to get onto the sprint podiums in the previous races is all coming to fruition for a good, solid season. This should help us a lot actually in our championship challenge for top 10. Did Espargaro get... no, I don't think it was Espargaro. It must have been Joan Mir. Joan Mir has lost his position on the podium as it stands. Still a lap and a half to go though, so the Repsol Honda man may feature on the sprint podium, but against the 2 factory Ducati Desmosedicis, that's going to be extremely difficult. But what a race. I think we were lucky here, honestly. I don't know what it is with the AI in this track, but clearly they've had an issue. I think we won by a minute in Moto 2, so I guess this was some sort of expected. The pole position came effortlessly, which does not happen in the 120% difficulty AI, I can assure you. But this is special. And we still yet to get some decent upgrades. What a bit this could do for us. This could really help our career out significantly if Gas give us the parts we need. Into the left-hander, back onto the right-hand side. Could we get into 131s? Not quite. Still very consistent lap times. nonetheless. Maybe I'll have it one more attempt, as Bastianini's now gone down to 7th. He's fumbled the 3rd place on the podium. Luca Marini up there in the top 6. Quartararo as well for Yamaha honours in 5th. I do believe Jack Miller started on the front row, so that's a bad result for the number 43. But now into the left-hand side for Struben. What I am curious about now, though, is what are they going to be like in the race? Only Espargaro could fight us in this race. If he's not competitive, this could be a blowout. We could absolutely dominate in the next race. I don't know. I never know when it comes to MotoGP 23. The AI can be very sporadic, so I guess we'll find out in just a moment's time. But I sincerely hope you're enjoying the content. This has been one hell of a race, and the battle with Espargaro was fierce. It was really good, and I very much enjoyed it. I like the fact that I was still able to stay competitive, even though in the middle part of the sector, of the track, in the early sectors, it was beginning to look a little bit bleak. But it paid off for us, and we're now 4.5 seconds. And Joan Mir's lost the podium again. Quartararo can be eyeing up his first podium of the season. Oh, he's got down to 5th now. He's back into 4th. Oh, he's back down to 5th. That's a great battle to be watching. But right now, we are watching me and my Tech 3 Gas about to do something that has never been done before. A sprint victory for the Tech 3 team. They've won races in real time in the real life, but we've never won a sprint. Big wheelie for the Aces and a victory in our first ever MotoGP sprint at Assen. So there you are then, guys. Victory for us, and not quite the fast lap of the race. Somehow Luca Marini managed to pull a ridiculous lap time off at the end there. And we did beat all the people we wanted to beat. Where is Brad Binder? Oh god, he's down to 20th. Bezzecchi not in the points. Takaki Nakagami was in 15th. If that was the race, he would have acquired a single point for the season. But are we in the top? We're still not in the top 10 yet, no. Maybe the next race, maybe then we can finally get into the top 10. But for now, guys, let's crack on with the race. So here we go then, guys and gals. Almost deja vu, but this time it is the full feature race. We wait for the red lights to disappear, and away we go. That was a very late red light there. I was expecting to go much earlier than that, but oh, here come the riders. They're all through on us in the first corner, but we'll try and fight back and regain the positions like we did in the sprint a moment ago. And I tell you what, that has worked out perfectly. We're back to the same position as we were in the sprint just 5 or 2 minutes ago, whatever it may have been, around the outside of Martin. And back into Struben for the left-hander. Is Bagnaia going to go for that ridiculously tight line? Yep, I have no idea why the AI do that, but I guess it doesn't matter. And we do actually have an objective today. I totally forgot about that. We have to beat Paul Espargaro in the race. This is to get some more confidence and belief back from our team. And actually, speaking of Paul Espargaro, he's up to 7th. That's a terrific result from Paul. He's up to 6th. He's doing us a massive favour in our team's championship, or at least trying to get out some points on the board at this stage of the season. That's incredible. Great job from him, but where is Aleix Espargaro? Of course, the only man to give us any form of competition in the sprint is nowhere to be seen. That is strange. Teammate Maverick Vinales up to 5th, but for the rest of them, no sign of the other Aprilias, which is good news for us. And it's also good news for the fans, because we are going to get some valuable points in today's, I'm going to say victory. I can't see the AI catching us up. We were so fast in the qualifying, we're so fast in the sprint. I can't see us slowing us. Can't see anything slowing us down now. Beautiful entry into the GT chicane across the line. We will have a 2-second advantage going into the first corner here in the Assen GP, in the Dutch TT, the Dutch GP. I think that's the hashtag for this particular race. And now into the right-hander for the Ossobroken corner. Yeah, I think this is going to be a blowout. I will drop the fuel down soon, maybe after a few more laps. I would like to see what kind of lap times we can do here. But we could drop it down to power setting 2. Maybe then they might catch me up. We'll have to see. I've not done any laps here with power setting 2, and to be honest with you, I hardly did any laps in the practice. I seen that the 1 lap was enough to send me straight to Q2. Went into Q2, did the 1 lap again, it was pole position. I thought, wow, this is easy. This is not what I was expecting. I knew in Moto 2 it was easy, but this is a whole new level. This is completely different. This is beyond easy. And we are now 4 seconds ahead of Johan Zarco. By the end of this lap, we could be 5 seconds ahead. That's 2.5 seconds quicker than the competition. what is going on. And they must be doing that issue into Struben, into the right-hander, which we passed a moment ago, and then into the Giet-Timmer chicane. I think that is exactly where they are making all of their mistakes. And I think that is what's costing them a massive amount of time. But what I am curious to find out is what lap time we are about to put in here. So across the line we go. It is a 1:32.668, so nothing actually particularly impressive. I'm still around 7/10 slower than my qualifying lap, I believe. So yeah, we've got to try and improve a bit here. I mean, not like we need to, but I do want to try and get back into the 1:31s. They eluded us in the sprint by about, what, 0.02 of a second? Something as small as that. So yeah, this is going really well. I'm happy with the performance so far. And of course, guys, if you are enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe as well. And alternatively, like the video, or both. Why not? Why not let it fly? Because we're that close now to 10,000 subscribers. Who knows, maybe by this video's come up, I must be like a couple, maybe 50 away or something like that. It's got to be close by now. I can't wait. Going to be a good Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, back onto the power. We are now going into De Bolt corner. Not a corner I've ever feel particularly confident in. I think the one time I felt confident was before Superbike 22. When Superbike 22 arrived and I did the career mode there, I always struggled into De Bolt, and I think it's a corner I always overthink. The rest of the corners I don't really think about, just go for it, have fun, and that is a corner that I just, yeah, makes me nervous for, and I think that's the worst thing you can do in any competitive racing game. If you have the feeling that something's not going to go right, it probably won't. So you have to put that to your back of your mind. But into the GT chicane, quick change of direction there, beautifully done. This is going to put us into the 131s comfortably. It is a 131.768. Comfortable as you like in this race right now. We are untouchable, and we are down to power setting 2. Let's see what the difference is with the second fuel option. I imagine going out to Struben all the way up to the Wienschlang, and then of course the final part, which is very fast and flowing, where we'll begin to lose a bit of time. But for these early stages, I can't see us losing too much of a time on the delta. So as you see on the right hand side of your screen, it's negative, but it's only negative by less than half a tenth. I'm now into the left-hander. It is approaching a tenth of a second difference, but it's very close. We should have some very consistent lap times here today. At least that's what I'm pushing for. A quick check on the left-hand side of the screen there. I've noticed another Aprilia. Raul Fernandez getting involved for the top 7 positions. That's a brilliant performance from him. Of course, curious to see what he can do next year with an upgraded Aprilia RSGP. He's going to have the same model as the bikes are on this year, I do believe. So it's the RSGP 23 version. Well, now into the right-hander for a corner I can never pronounce. This is a 0.2 of a second deviation. We're actually not losing too much. I thought we would lose a lot more into this final part. And now into the GT chicane. We might lose a bit again as we go into the right-hander, then back across to the left. Okay, only losing 0.2. This might still keep us in the 131s. Not quite, just lost it by 36,000 of a second. 36,000 of a second. That would put us into the 131s. So, the fuel is beginning to look a little bit better. I think we should be able to stay on power setting 2 now for the rest of the race. We would be, what, 9 more laps to go? And providing we don't make a mistake or anything terribly goes wrong, this should be 25 points in our championship challenge. That is something special. And if I'm not mistaken, we're on, what, 40 points maybe this season? 60 points? It's almost half of the points we've had so far in just one race. Because we're going to acquire 37 points over this weekend. We will be the rider of the weekend, no doubt. And I think it's going to be almost the perfect weekend. I think it still is classed as the perfect weekend because there's a couple of things we need to look at to class it as a perfect weekend. In the original MotoGP style, it was always the pole position, the fastest lap of the race, and the race victory. This time, we have the Super Saturday where you go for the qualifying pole position and the sprint victory, and then the full race to win and set the fastest lap in the full race. So this would be the ultimate perfect weekend. Super Saturday and a very spectacular Sunday. It's perfect. It's going to be really good. So anyway, onto the brakes. The GT chicane, GT chicane, I don't know how you really pronounce it, but It's what I've been used to so far. It's a slow lap time. We're falling backwards, ladies and gentlemen. Panic stations as we've dropped to a 32.2 from a 32.0. It's all going bad to worse. And even though we're on power setting 2, we've still got an 11-second advantage ahead of Pecco Bagnaia, and somehow Raul Fernandez was temporarily up into the top 4. What a race for the runner-up of the Moto2 Championship a few years ago. The moral champion or something silly like that, I think people say. But now into the right-hand side. This is the Wiesenstein corner and back across to the left for the Russian hook. Losing a bit more time again. Maybe we won't get back into the 131s. But I am glad that we got into the 131s, at least in the race. I actually think that's a better lap time than my qualifying, to be honest. I don't actually remember what the qualifying time was, but I can certainly check at the end of the video. And now into the right-hander, very tight to the apex of Mandevin. Back onto the power. I do believe it, as I mentioned earlier, this corner here is where the AI just go too tight and they turn in on the grass, then have to rebalance to then attack this right-hander here. I don't exactly know what it is, but if I recall in my review, that's what happened then, and I remember talking about it there. Don't know if it's changed. It's been a while since I played MotoGP here in Assen, especially in a race situation. And a quick change direction into turn 17. This is looking really well. So, oh no. Oh, it's the same lap time as the second lap, 132.668. I was a bit worried then. I thought we were going to have a slower lap. Not like it really matters, and I don't think you guys are going to be disappointed with me dropping to maybe as low as the 133s. I certainly hope we don't drop into 133s, but if that happens, then I guess I don't think you'll be too mad, because it's still very consistent and competitive lap times, if I do say so for myself. I am beginning to wonder whether we need to drop to power setting 1 though. We've been on power setting 2 and it hasn't moved from minus 0.5. In fact, yes it has, it's just changed to minus 0.6, so let's put it on to power setting 1. I'm not taking that risk. Let's get that back into the green, and then when we get comfortably in the green, let's change it over to power setting 2. Oh, good to see it's back in the green already. And I don't think power setting 1's losing us too much time. Now what, by 5/10 into debulk, quite nice and comfortable actually for turn 9. I guess I wasn't paying attention, or overly paying attention. I was just so more consistent with the looking at the fuel. And I'm good to see Aleix Espargaro is still in the top 8 positions. Great result from teammate Paul. Happy with that, very happy. I think he'll have very mixed emotions about the Super Saturday sprint race that we had. Beating his brother. And of course for himself, he didn't finish in the points either, did he? So, in fact, no he did. Did he? I think he finished on 9th. I don't remember. It was a couple of minutes ago, but I've just completely forgotten. You know if it's true or not, you know if it's right. I'll just trust your word for it. So 132.235 with a combination of both the power setting 2 and power setting 1. Gap is up to 13. Wow, it's going up to 14 seconds now. I think that's because they make a mistake into the GT chicane. On the next lap, wow, I've just realised something as well. Look at the graphic. Look at the map in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We're 14.5 seconds ahead of Pecco. He must be in turn around 10 seconds ahead of Viñales. Wow. Maybe not 10 seconds, actually that's quite a lot. Maybe about 5. And that would probably make sense why Espargaro is probably the back of that grid there, back of that group that's fighting for 3rd. If Paul manages to come through and get on the podium, I'll be chuffed. But there is quite a big gap there. Wow, power setting 2 has sent us back down to negative fuel again. That's not ideal. Maybe I'll have to drop down to power setting 1 again. I never understand the fuel situation here in MotoGP 23. It can be so misleading and so convoluted sometimes. You just think, okay, I'll drop down to it now when it makes sense. I'll stay on that power, but no. Got to drop it again later on. So let's drop it now to the lowest setting and then back up to power setting 2. Just get a bit of oomph, keep into the 132s. And then back into the power braking area of the GT chicane. I do feel really comfortable in the GT chicane today. Ever since I played Superbike 22, I lost a bit of a touch there, but I'm beginning to feel better now. That's now 6 laps in a row, maybe 7 laps in a row of all being in the 132s. We did get into the 131s as well, I guess, so I guess that's 9 laps in a row. Really good stuff so far. I'm happy with this, really happy. It does feel a little bit easy, and I don't think this one's been as hard fought as the other races I've been, so this is a victory, no doubt. The sprint victory was incredible, but I can't help to think that this was not the best performance. I think it has been in a way, because it's not easy to win in any competition here, but with 120% difficulty, I would say this one has been a bit of a cop-out. The podium in Le Mans was probably one of my favourite ones, because it felt like we could hold on to that position. We weren't just holding on to the end of the race, we were actually comfortably holding on to third ahead of Brad Binder. The Mugello race, where we were fighting in the sprint, was awesome as well, because I felt really difficult in that one. We was up such a disadvantage too. And then of course the inaugural podium for us in the sprint was in Circuit of the Americas, and I think with that one, if I had spent maybe a bit more time practicing, maybe then we could have gone into Q2. Maybe then I could have fought for a better position than third, I don't know, but it's hard to say what my best race has been so far. Maybe Jerez, you know. This sounds silly, but to fight in Jerez and be consistent in the points for both of those, with the consistent pace which we never dropped at all, felt great. I was really happy with how we performed in the Jerez Spanish GP, but I gotta say, I think I'll just take it for what it is. I'll take it for granted. Why not? It's the first time we've had a comfortable race where we can actually relax and just sort of take my time, and we're churning out good lap times here. I'm very proud of the result here, and coincidentally all three of those last laps have finished in 35,000 of a second at the end. It's like looking at Cal Crutchlow again. Bring back the Brit. So back on to the power. We're still in Power Steering 2. This is actually not looking as a bad lap time. We might actually get back into the 31s. Unfortunately, the game is now saying, no, drop the fuel. So let's get a little bit more and then drop the fuel when we get to the straight. And then I think at that point we might have to stay on Power Steering 1 for the rest of the race, because I think it's a bit risky to consider bringing on the second power option when we really don't need it. Can you imagine us going all through this to run out of fuel on the last lap? That would just be silly. So I'm not going to allow that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to win here by at least 20 seconds. That is what we're going to do here in Assen. It's a shame they didn't give up more of a competition, because I absolutely adore this circuit and I love a good scrap around Assen. I always look forward to it in the live GPs, but unfortunately, as you know, everyone tends to take the mick and cut the final chicane. But this time around, we can comfortably say we're going to take victory in a clean and methodical fashion. A little bit to the right, bit of a wheelie across the line. It is a 1:32.368. That's my streak of lap times ending in 35,000. And now into Hardlock. I think we can take it easy now. So let's stay on Power Steering 1. Maybe if I've got a bit more for the last part of the race, but as it stands, quick update on the left hand side of your screen. Of course, the Tech 3 Gas rider, which is me, leading the way by 20 seconds. World Championship leader and double MotoGP victor, Pecco Bagnaia in second. Johan Zarco in third with the Prima Pramac Ducati. Bezzecchi, Raul Fernandez, Vinales, Martin and my teammate, Aleix Espargaro in 8th spot. We're going to get some chunky points today. I think it's 5 points for 10th, and therefore it increases by a point again, or maybe 2 points. So I think he's going to be getting around 7 or 8 points, I think. He might be 8 points. So for that, we're going to get a nice chunky amount of points here. We might actually close the gap to Honda. They've got a few more points than us. I think it might be, maybe even Yamaha is just ahead of us. So we have a chance. And unfortunately, oh goodness me, that was very tight. Oh, Martin's just gone down. That's a bit of a disappointment for number 89. Yet he still stayed in 8th place for a moment. Alex Rins is now into the top 8. And I do fear, with me not paying attention in this lap, we could be setting a bad lap time here if I'm not careful. Into the right hand and back across to the left with Power Steering 1. Oh, Lord Almighty. It isn't. Oh, it is. No. On lap 11, we dropped to the 133s. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Our perfect run of consistency has ended. A 133, 7 tenths slower than the previous lap. Oh, I'm annoyed at that. I'm genuinely annoyed. 1.3 slower than our fastest lap. I mean, yeah, it's on lap 11, so, and we have a 20-second lead, but I'm annoyed at that. I'm disappointed. Maybe I should have moved back into Power Steering 2, but as we discussed earlier, it was more important to get the race victory and comfortably do it rather than continuously trying to pump out faster lap times, because it's not necessary to do that. It's just the way I like to do it. So back onto the power. Might change it to power setting 2. What do you think? I don't know. No, I'll probably not. Stay with the lowest power option. Regain some sort of independence as well, and some sort of pride, knowing that if we get back into the 132s with power setting 1, we don't need the others to help our hands, or hold our hand, should I say. No! Oh, I thought Paul had gone behind then. He's now up to 6th. Come on, Paul. Get past Bez and get past Raul as well. Get that 4th place. Come on, Paul. That would be wicked. Especially against Raul Fernandez, because as I mentioned at the start of the season, I had 2 options to join MotoGP. The RNF Crypto Data Aprilia team, or GasGas. And ultimately I went for the GasGas, and I don't want the Aprilias to be beating us. And that goes for my teammate Paul. I did have an option to join the fantasy teams, but I'll be honest, I don't like them. Those fictional teams with sponsors on it, they knock my immersion, and I don't particularly like them, so not including them as an option for my MotoGP career mode. I think, coincidentally, one of them was just for the same bike anyway. It just would have been Aprilia or a GasGas, or KTM should I say, but with a different different sponsor on it, which is usually Parts Europe or DHL or something like that. But anyway, back into power setting 2. This is the last lap of the race. We may even use some power setting 3 yet, but I guess we don't need to. Paul's up into the top 6. Raul's 5th. Bagnaia behind us. Pecco is in 2nd with 23 seconds behind. And the rest is just history, because look at that gap, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that gap in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This is the 120% difficulty. If I can do it, you can too. And if you want to beat the AI at the hardest difficulty, this will be the track to do it. They are very, very easy here in Assen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're what, 4 corners away from history with the Tech 3 team. Their first victory since Austria 2020. Hervé Poncharal and the guys will be chuffed. The aces will be pleased. And of course, I am absolutely over the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are victorious in MotoGP. Huge wheelie across the line here in the Dutch TT of Assen. So there you are then, guys. Achievement unlocked here on Steam. We win by 21 point whatever seconds it is. It doesn't matter. Paul's in 6th. Yes, Paul. Great to see it. Brad Binder in 11th, and I think that might mean we're into the top 10. Jack Miller got no points. And Digia got his first points, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So that means there's only one rider who hasn't achieved points yet, and that is unfortunately for the Japanese fans, Taka Nakagami. And there we are in 9th place. 177 points behind Pecco. Could we do the ultimate comeback better than Pecco did in real life? Absolutely not, but we'll see how close we can get at the end of the season. Good job for Paul. He got himself 10 points in today's video, and Digia acquiring his first point of the season. Well, guys, I will leave you now with the rest of the stuff on screen. Team Championship is still very much alive, so we might have a chance of getting that. And then for the Constructors, I don't think so, but we'll see what it's like in a moment's time. Oh, actually, maybe we can. If we can get them into 3rd, I would be really pleased. But guys, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you have any video requests, be sure to let me know as well. And there is me in the Parc Fermé. And what the hell has happened to his leathers? Has he done the Rossi celebration from 2015 when he rolled in the dirt? It kind of looks that way. Goodness me. Maybe I'll leave the Parc Fermé on and then for the podium celebration as well, because this is a very special moment for me. Hervé Poncharal is in the background there, and you guys as well. So guys, thanks for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's video after the Parc Fermé and then podium celebrations come to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.